So wonderful to be here. It was a wonderful drive into St. Augustine from Ocala, Florida this morning. No rain. It was very cold. Not a lot of traffic. Some of the people, some campers and stuff heading towards Salt Springs. But other than that, the traffic was just fine. It was a beautiful day to drive through the forest. It was absolutely wonderful. In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am. I let go of fear and worry. I open my eyes and see that there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when I seem to have lost my way, I go inside and quiet my mind, and I can hear Spirit gently say that there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There was only love. Oh, yeah. How's everybody feeling this morning? Wonderful. That's wonderful to hear. I'm feeling wonderful as well. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be anywhere. It's a blessing. It's a blessing to be alive where two or more are gathered, right? So we have two or more. So, hey, listen, the Spirit is right here with us right now. How was meditation this morning? Did you guys have a good meditation? Excellent, excellent. What a beautiful way to start the day. Do we have any new people? Any first timers? Okay. No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can take comfort in the knowing that whether if you come to stay a while or just passing through, this door is open to you. If you're a regular, you already know that, though. Come and let's be silent Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come love and be loved. From the blissed out to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused, this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist, or Jew, this door is open to you. If there's some kind of trouble or pain you're going through, know that you are not alone, and someone cares for you as an individualization of divine point of view. This door, oh, this door right here is open for you. Oh, this door, I'm talking about this door. I said this door is open to you. Come on in. Come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you. Whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist, or Jew, this door is open to you. This door is open to you. Welcome. All right. I think we're about ready to start, aren't we? All right. So right now, I'd like to do a song that we like to open with, and I want to invite you to stand if you're able, and if you're not, that's fine. Just clap your hands and stomp your feet where you are. And you can clap your hands like that. There you go. All right. I love this part. Now this is what I want you to do. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. Woo! I'm feeling you. You're clapping pretty good this morning. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, God loves you and I love you too. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. Oh, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, from every walk of life, every creed and color, in kinship we unite, in honor of the God in each other. Ooh, take a look at the person next to you. Say, namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love.
Good morning. You can see me as Reverend Ken this morning, but my name is Richard Austin. And I'm filling in for Ken this morning, and it's a treat to have you all here. It's a pleasure and an honor for me to be here before you. Ken is enjoying a wonderful opportunity to get away for some spiritual rejuvenation. So thank you, Eddie, for starting us off, getting us going. We wanted to welcome everybody and say we're up for a great day this morning. We're really looking forward to getting through the message and hopefully having something hit for you. I'm going to use the podium up here, but I'm going to move it out of your way when the time comes. So is there anyone here for the first time? Let us know. Here for the first time? Show of hands. Again, we want to welcome you and let you know what an honor it is for us to have you here. We hope that the message will be inviting for you. So I have a few announcements. Normally, we don't spend a lot of time on this, and I won't either. But I did want to let you know that the practitioners are here for you after the service. So if you have anything weighing heavy on you, or you have something that you want to unfold a little even greater than it might be, or even if you have something that's really going great in your life and you'd like to have it grow even further, there are some forms over here that you can fill out, or you can speak to one of the practitioners after the service for this for us to know the truth of your being. I also wanted to let you know that Jim Saul and I are here. Also, we have Reverend Nancy Hobby Lau and Maureen Surrency, and they can be contacted, although they're not physically here. You can find them on our website and find their contact information out on cslstaugustine.org. Under the About Us tab, look for the practitioners, and you'll find us there. Also this week on Tuesday night, Reverend Ken usually hosts the Tuesday night affirmative prayer session, and Jim Soul and I will be doing that. Isn't that right, Jim? All right, so we're going to host that for you this week because Ken, again, will be on this continued retreat, and we'll be talking about a number of hot topics, and we welcome you to join in. It's at 6:30. We also wanted to just mention that we have school supplies. They're going to the students this week, and so I just want to say thank you for everyone for all the wonderful gifts that you've given, and you've given it from your heart, your soul. And we know that that's going to go to a great opportunity, some wonderful children. And so to somebody who knows a little bit more about it, I've asked Diana Ambrose to come up and tell us a little bit more about what's happening with this. Diana, come on up.
Say thank you so much for your donations. I'm a school counselor at Southwoods Elementary. It's over near Hastings. And for many, many years, our center, when we are doing collections at the start of the year and Christmas, and sometimes at the end of the year, we do books for the summer. My kids are the lucky recipients. So I wanted to spend a couple minutes just to thank you. And then also, our school, it's surprising for some people to learn, but our school is over 80% of the kids are in poverty. Most of our kids come from Hastings or Flagler Estates. If you ever took a drive out around that area, you'd be surprised. It's part of St. Johns County. But there are a lot of kids who are coming from homes with different types of abuse, physical abuse or substance abuse, or they're being raised by their grandparents or aunts and uncles, or their parents are in prison. Usually tomorrow when the kids come back, I usually get an earful of stuff that happened over the summer. So I'm happy to take a couple minutes to share with you to give you an idea, the group of kids that you guys are helping, because these backpacks are wonderful. they get so excited, and I'm always thrilled to be able to at least give a kid a little bit of reason to be happy to be back at school and a reason to smile, and somebody out there cares for them. So thank you so much for helping my kids.
Thanks, Diana. So thank you very much. Thank you for all your gifts. And let's just do, before we get into the song, just want to do a quick affirmative prayer over these wonderful gifts. So know this truth with me now, that these gifts are given with love. These supplies are going to our students. They're a breath of fresh air. And think back to a time when you were first going to school as a little child, and know that thrill and excitement. I can remember mine being fearful of knowing the unknown and going into it, and finally feeling a breath of fresh air and meeting other people, and know that these gifts are going to fulfill that area of love within these children, that they're going to go forward and know that the blessings that you've put on these gifts as you collected them, and this morning as they get delivered, that they are starting their school year off with even more love than they could imagine. That this will also help them grow into the wonderful students and the opportunity to grow even further in their lives. We give thanks for it. We release it to do its good work. And together we say, and so it is. So, I turn it over to Eddie.
When we give, when we receive, when we give, knowing God is all there is, so who's giving what to whom? When you give, who's giving what to whom? When you receive, who's giving what to whom? When you give, knowing God is all there is, know who's giving what to whom. Trusting in the law of circulation, knowing that it is as we believe. At the level of our faith, we release and make it so. At the level of our giving, we receive. Oh, when we give, who's giving what to whom? When we receive, who's giving what to whom? When we give, know that God is all there is. So who's giving what? Who's giving what? Who's giving what to whom? Thank you.
Gosh, and now I get to introduce the practitioner of the week. That's myself. But I've chosen today to allow a reading from Reverend Nancy Fagan to share wonderful thoughts and inspiration today. It's from her book, The Divine Done Deal, Affirmative Prayers for Easy Living and Steps to Create Your Own. She writes in the book, in her dedication, that many teachers who have encouraged, she thanks the many teachers. Let me start again. The book is dedicated to the many teachers who have encouraged and inspired me along my life's journey. Thank you. The background for this reading comes from the Tuesday night prayer. Ken asks us each week, what would we like to have in our service? What are we thinking about for our spiritual magnificence for the week? And what is it that you would share as a request that you'd like to see come forth? So a couple of weeks ago, I shared that I was looking to have greater awareness of my intuition, to be more in tune with what I hear and see, and then act upon these streams of The affirmative prayer chosen is called, I deepen my spiritual awareness. So as you feel comfortable, sit back, take a deep breath, relax even further. And as you feel comfortable, close your eyes and just know this truth with me now. I deepen my spiritual awareness. In the stillness of this moment, I immerse myself in the realization of knowing that I am one with the one. As I relax into this consciousness of unity, I move into deeper understanding of my spiritual nature. I joyously feel the presence of spirit in the stillness of my being, in the action of my thoughts, and in the workings of my body, thus creating a renewed sense of peaceful connectedness with all. As I deepen my spiritual awareness, increasingly realizing and appreciating I am the one life individualized, I allow the one life to fully express in, through, and as me. As I do, I know I am the consciousness through which stillness and peace flow. And this knowing manifests in all I say and do. The circumstances of my life automatically rearrange themselves to be in harmony with this deeper spiritual awareness. Anything unlike this spiritual truth obliterates into the nothingness that it is. In gratitude, I bask in the light of the ever-deepening spiritual awareness, knowing this is the eternal truth of my being. And we can let that breath out as we affirm this truth together by saying, and so it is. Thank you, Nancy. That was lovely. I appreciate you coming this morning to give us that message. So my talk today is knowing a better idea for yourself, possibility thinking. Each week, Ken asks us for a better idea of ourselves. Think about that. As I reflected on this, I felt that it would be a good topic for me to speak to, and I'm going to share some examples and some history of my spiritual journey. A couple of weeks ago, I shared that I was the person who was clapping on the offbeat when Eddie was asking us to clap. And I realized that at that time, that was okay a couple of weeks ago. But if you knew me 40 years ago, I would have come back from that after being called out and had a little discussion with myself. And that discussion would have gone something like this. What the hell is the matter with you? What are you doing? And from there, I would have that banter back and forth and say, well, I was doing my best. I know, but it's not that hard to keep the beat. What is going on? You need to practice this thing. And so that inner dialogue would go on for some time. And I realized after learning a little bit more about my spiritual self that really was not productive. That was not good for my inner spirit. Although I enjoy clapping, and I enjoy clapping on the offbeat, I've been practicing to get it on target. Fortunately, I let Eddie finish the song this morning, so I wouldn't have to come up here and do it on the half beat for all of you. This is when I came across, and soon after that, came across knowing that I had a greater idea for myself. There was a better idea for myself. And on our website, you'll see what that idea is. If you go there, you'll see the tag sign right under the pictures, and it says, change your thinking and change your life. This is transformational. So I go back a number of years, maybe not 40, but not too many less than that. And it's the old movie story. Boy meets girl. I lived in Connecticut, met a wonderful gal. We started to date and dated for a number of years. We came to a spot in our lives where we were in between jobs. She decided she would like to move to Florida to be closer to her family. I had family down here too, so it was okay. We moved on down. We came here. She bought a house. We settled in, and things were looking good. At that point, she decided, which hadn't been a part of our relationship before as much, but she wanted to find a church to go to. And I thought, okay, I can go along with that. That works for me. And so after visiting a number of churches, we ended up at the Pentecostal church. That was fine. This is where she thrived. I felt there was something in my spirit that said, I'm not sure this is right for me. And that's okay. Over a period of time and some other things which I won't get into, I realized that my spirit was speaking to me, even though I was fighting back. I was trying to give it a different message. I was saying, yes, we're going to work this out. It's going to happen. Everything is going to be fine. And my inner spirit kept speaking to me and saying, I don't think it's going to be fine. I don't think this matches up with your values, your spirit in your beginning, your essential being. And so as a little time went on further, we parted company. She went off to enjoy her life in town, and I went back to where my family was, and I've enjoyed my life from there. I lived in conflict for quite a while. Finally, as things calmed down, I went back to work. Movie number 2, boy meets girl. With very serendipitously, we met, had a great time, really appreciated each other, spent a lot of time. And one day she says, one Sunday morning, she says, hey, let's go to church. My body froze. I started to feel, I couldn't breathe. And I'm thinking, gosh, I really don't want my life to repeat itself. And so I got enough air in me to realize, I don't think this Sunday is probably going to work. And that was fine. We went on and had a great time. Once that came up, I knew it was going to come up again. And a couple of weeks later, she said, hey, let's go to church today. And I didn't have quite the same reaction. She said, listen, it's going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. It's a really nice service. There's a wonderful music, and the message is not like other churches you may have been to. And I sort of was warming up to the idea. And then she says, oh, and by the way, they meet in the bar down on the island. Wow. I'm sorry. Could you repeat that? They what? They meet in the bar over on Anastasia Isle. You know, the old hotel there that's being renovated now was thriving back then. They had a wonderful nightlife on Saturday night and the rest of the nights. And Sunday morning, they cleared out. The piano came out from behind the curtain. The chairs were set up that were also behind the curtain. The music came on, the lights came on, and in came Reverend Jewel Kutzer. She was a dynamic speaker. I thought I wouldn't say that I died and gone to heaven because I didn't know what that was. But I will say this, that it was like a tent revival of metaphysics. I couldn't believe it. There was something that registered with me. I thought, wow, this is pretty cool. And that was the beginning of learning this powerful message. It was practical. I could understand it. It was about spiritual mind, the laws of the universe, spiritual mind treatment, learning how to have a better idea for myself, and it hit home. I was able to resonate with this. The people there seemed to agree and communicate with me, whether we talked or not. It was just a very positive, inspirational place for me. Now, I know others find inspiration and connection to God through other churches, the Episcopal Church, the Catholic Church, the Pentecostal Church. And now, after I've had enough education, I realized when I got first introduced to this many church services, I didn't have the background that I could work through it. I felt as though there was a lot of fear. But now that I've gone through and learned a lot more, I can go to these places too and understand the message and get a lot out of it. So I've stuck here over the years. Well, I didn't stuck here. I came here joyfully. Amongst the many Jewel sayings, or what we know as Jewel-isms, she would say it's time to treat and move your feet. And what that meant was it was time to do affirmative prayer, ask for what you wanted, and then go out and do everything you could to feed yourself with these ideas, these thoughts, and do readings, do meditation, go into the quiet and get to know yourself. Let that spirit come out from within you. After several years of studying with Jewel, she retired. And it was then that Elizabeth Clare came from California to be our spiritual leader. She did so for about 15 years or more. And during this time, I became a practitioner under her tutelage. Many more lessons and creativity occurred during this time. Much more to come in my next talk, which is, Are You Awake? But that's not for today. In the meantime, however, I did want to share this as I was preparing for my talk today. Dr. Wayne Dyer an American self-help spiritual guru and author. I don't know if you've known the name, but he wrote 30 or 40 books, most of them best-selling sellers. And he came to take a look at this, and he had just a special knack of taking a phrase and turning it around and changing the words just slightly so you knew it was different. And then as you studied it, it had a tremendously different meaning. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. You remember the old saying, I'll believe it when I see it. Little sarcasm there. Someone owes me money. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. I'm expecting a promotion this year. Yep, I'll believe it when I see it. Well, he turned that around. And I will say for any of us, it's so important to say what you mean and mean what you say when you communicate with your spiritual self or the universe. Dreyer speaks to this in one of his books. He labels it differently, just changes the word a little bit. You and I might know it as you'll believe it when I see it. He writes, you'll see it when you believe it. In the introduction, he writes, you see in your life essentially what you believe. If, for example, you believe strongly in scarcity, think about it regularly, make it the focus of your convictions, I'm quite certain that you will see a great deal of it in your life. On the other hand, if you believe in happiness and abundance, think only about them, talk about them with others, and act on your belief in them, it's a very good bet that you will see what you believe. He goes on to quote Oliver Wendell Holmes, and this one was priceless for me as I read this. Oliver wrote, man's mind stretched to a new idea never goes back to its original dimension. We say it again, man's mind stretched to a new idea never goes back to its original dimension. Dreyer goes on to say, the principles that I write about in this book may require you to stretch to new ideas. Should you take these words and apply them to your life, you will feel the stretch marks in your mind. You will never again return to the being that you were before. Think about that next week when Ken comes back and gives you a message. Or today, when you came in, you had an idea. We're filling and offering new ideas, and you will not be the same each Sunday when you leave this sanctuary. Reverend Ken usually asks us to know something good for ourselves. You're not a problem to be solved. You're a miracle unfolding. Think about that each week when you hear his message. You'll never again be the same, applying the principles that you learn here, knowing that good with a capital G in your life and placing your energy and focus upon it. You are now different than you were when you arrived today. Dreyer goes on to speak about the personal transformation in his book. The transformation comes from knowing deep within you that each and every human being is far more than a physical body. That the essence of the human includes the ability to think and feel, to process a higher consciousness, and to know that there is an intelligence covering and surrounding all form in the universe. You are able to tap into this invisible energy. You use your mind in a way that you choose to recognize that you are essential, that this is your essential humanity. Your humanness is not a form or a body at all, but something much more divine, guided by forces that are always at work in the universe. The principles in this book are the premise that you are a soul with a body rather than a body with a soul. Again, just a slight difference, but think about that meaning. That you are not a human being having a spiritual experience, but rather a spiritual being having a human experience. Gives us a whole new way of looking at our future and how we are moving through. Now, we all know someone who may not be in tune with their spirituality, and they might just be having their blinders on and moving forward in life and doing all the things that our society expects of us. I have a brother like that. And yet, I know inside of him this universal power in knowing. His spirit guides him, and he doesn't even recognize it. The good news is he's on the right path for himself. He's a wonderful human being. When we sit down and talk about spirit, the flags go up, and it's like me going to the Pentecostal church. And so we don't talk about it in the terms that I might speak of it here, but we exchange that love and have a fond awareness that spirit is working within him regardless. But for those that are asking more about that spirit and trying to develop that spiritual awakening, that process, that your life can change tremendously by opening up, by going into the silence and asking yourself for that spiritual connection to come forward. As I have on our Tuesday night, I've asked for myself to be more awakened and more open to my intuition. I see that as my spiritual connection, my inner being. It delivers messages. And there are times when a week later, I know I look back and I got the message and I didn't necessarily pay attention to the message. I didn't act on the message, but over here I can remember what the message is. It's an interesting phenomenon, but that lets me know that I am in tune with my awareness. It lets me know that my spirit is guiding me and sending messages to me all the time. Am I in a place where I can be aware of that message? Am I in a place where I've done the work to go into the silence and know that my spirit connects with me each and every day? My subconscious mind, I may not always be aware of, but my conscious mind, I can feed information into it. And if it's in alignment and in agreement, I can change my beliefs and my thoughts. But it's so important for me not to have that negative discussion that I might have had 40 years ago in order for my spirit to come forth. It's important that when I have that discussion of myself in my mind's eye and we're going back and forth, I've changed that message now to, how has this experience guided me? How can I learn from it? What can I learn from it? Well, I don't know. Well, it might be good for you to just be aware of that. Let's have that discussion. Okay, here's what I think happened. What do you think? Okay, I think we're in the right spot. We're open to new ideas. We're open to an idea of greater opportunity for myself. Where was I? The principles are working in the universe, whether you believe them or not. Whether you believe in the universal principles or not, they're going to work. But you should decide to tune into them. You may find yourself living in an entirely new level and enjoying a higher kind of awareness, an awakening, if you will. Once you start to make the transformational awakening journey, there is no going back. The awakened life feels and begins to own you, and then you simply know that you're on the right pathway. I thought of pizza dough. If you ever made pizza before, it starts in a clump like this, or if you bought it at the store, and when you knead it out and you push it out into the size of the pan, there's no way you're getting it back into that ball. So the ideas that you come to here each week and the ideas that you get from talking with other people in your readings and your spiritual connection allows you to know that your mind has stretched, that you have changed in yourself and become greater aware of your surroundings, of your spiritual nature. We continue to encourage you to go within and get to that silent place where you can feel and know and be aware, raising your consciousness, as you've heard us say as practitioners will open up our services. I reflect back on many of the spiritual leaders that have taught these principles for me. They've shared their experiences, they've lived their life in practice, and they've shown us through example what we can do. But let's take it not for granted. We're all spiritual leaders for ourselves, and we come to get different messages from those that we can rely on to help us each week. Be aware of those messages coming forth, because we are always talking about being on that spiritual pathway. I'm guided each way and in every day by my spirit for my greater good. Each of our spiritual leaders, from Reverend Ken, Reverend Liz, Reverend Jewel, they've made a great impact on my life. And for years ago, when I was because I did teaching in the corporate world for my career. And there was a call center that we opened up in New Jersey. And one of the students had come back after 4 or 5 years, and she gave me a coffee cup. On the coffee cup, it says, "To teach is to touch all life forever." She had been through the same training that we delivered, and it was a struggle. And I could tell she really had a hard time picking it up. One of the differences was before we were taking over, they gave 2 hours of training, and I had demanded I need a full day in order for these folks to know what they're doing. If they're going to take orders, you don't want to have it be incorrect. And she gave me this cup because she was very appreciative of the teaching that went on, where she felt very comfortable about doing her job. So know that your spiritual leaders will touch us and change our lives forever. As I reflect back and talk, I realize that they all emphasize the importance of learning the principles and practicing the principles, putting it into use, listening to that inner spirit. They want us to raise our awareness and be open to the whispers of spirit, a dream, a flashing, fleeting message that comes up just in a second. To take that moment right then and there and hear that message and remember that message. It may come up again or it may not, but this may give you a chance to be aware of a message that may change your life. And so as you come here, change your thinking, change your life. It's my idea this morning to speak on this because it gave me an opportunity to change my life many years ago and continue to change my life as I go day in and day out. I'm honored that, Ken would give me the opportunity to speak for you today. Get a little emotional at that. But I'll ask some of the messages that he asks us each week, and that is, what do you want to appear in your life today, this week, or this month? What is it you'd like to see that would help you grow into your spiritual magnificence? What is the better idea that you have for yourself? And what inspires you today to see even more come to your life? How are you treating and moving your feet to the greater you? As a follow-up, we'll ask these questions if you join us on Tuesday night for the meditation service, so you can have a little time to think through what is it that you want to create in your life today and moving forward. We'll ask you to think about that. Join us on Tuesday and share back with us anything that moves you, for you are the leader of your ship. You're the captain of your boat to make happen in your life what you want to have happen. Thank you very much, Eddie. I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much. Usually I like to try to enhance what I hear, so I don't really choose a song ahead of time. But there were so many good things in your talk today. Well, one of the things that came up for me, well, two of the things that came up for me was that you change the way you look at something, and then the things you look at change. So powerful. Yeah. And the other was about the silence. What happens in the silence? Which brings up a song to me. I haven't done it in years, but it's the only one that would fit for right now, for your talk. And it goes like this. In the silence, there is peace. In the silence, there is unspoken joy. In the silence, there's release from a world full of chaos and noise. So I wait for these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said. And right here in this holy silence, I find God. I find myself.
Beautiful. So we have the opportunity for you to continue to support our center, and we ask for your help. We know that this center thrives on your gifts. We know that we ask for your gifts, whether it be coin or in spiritual support. As we did in this corner, you've given to our children, you've given back to our community. We know that as we look forward, we continue to look to support through our Venus Manley Fund, the Elizabeth Clare Fund, and to keep our doors open so that we can meet on these Sundays for this wonderful message, for an opportunity to change our life and to change our thinking and change our life, to know a higher calling for ourselves. So we don't pass the plate now. We just have a box here. We have folks that can give over the internet or through however we give and we accept. But please take your hand now, or your hand in your gift, your thought, your prayer, and put it over your heart. And know that as we come to this place, we grow each time, each day, and in each way. We know that we're a pizza dough being stretched in our mind to add all of the ingredients that are just perfect for us, to know that we are blessed in every way, and we can now cook this pizza and enjoy it as we go forward from this morning. We recite to us our prayer for prosperity, which is this: I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied. And so it is. And of course, we thank you for your support as always.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Sing along with me if you know the words. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
So as we close out today, let us know this about our service this morning. I thank you for being here. I thank Reverend Ken for the opportunity. We know this truth as we go forward this morning, that there's one creative intelligence in the universe. There's one power, there's one presence. We feel it here each week as we come. And we know that this guidance, this power, this God is at the core of our being and everywhere we can imagine. We know as we feed into our mind those ideas that are a better idea for ourselves, that allow us to expand our greatest opportunity to be in our spiritual nature, that we move forward from a loving place. We move forward with new ideas to grow our inspiration for our life's chapter. We know in this time that right now and right here, we move forward being blessed and being in this place for great ideas to come forth. We go forward this week knowing that at any moment we can snap our fingers and know that we feed our mind and our spirit. And our spirit responds back with that guidance system that leads us on our path for greater spirituality. I give thanks for knowing this. I give thanks for being the individualization of God that I am and the gifts that I bring to this world. And I say that for each and every one of us because we are a gift. We're a gift as we move forward divinely and in perspective of knowing our magnificence. So this morning we give thanks for all that we have learned here today, the gifts that have come to us each moment as we go forward this afternoon and into our week. We're blessed and we know it. We give thanks for it, and we release this treatment to us good and bold and dynamic work by saying together, and so it is.
I'd like to invite you to stand and sing our closing song. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with our family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. God bless. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. Well, already.